Have you ever stopped to think about how our world stays powered on? I mean, every single second, without fail. It's not just about giant power plants or those massive transmission lines you see on the highway. Nope. There's a hidden, almost intelligent system working tirelessly behind the scenes. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these invisible guardians, the secret defense system protecting our entire power grid. So here's the best way to get your head around this. Think of our power grid as a living, breathing organism. Seriously, because in a lot of ways, it is. And just like any living thing, it's got this incredibly sophisticated immune system, designed to protect it from injury and, well, from getting sick. All right, so if the power system is a body, what are its parts? Let's do a quick anatomy lesson. It's actually a pretty cool way to look at the infrastructure we all rely on every single day. Okay, check this out. It's super intuitive, right? The generating stations, that's the heart, constantly pumping out electrical energy. The transmission lines are the arteries and veins, shipping that energy all over the country. And us, we're the cells, using all that power. But right in the middle are the transformers. These are the vital organs, the kidneys, the liver, processing that energy, making sure it's the right kind of power for all the different cells. But, a body isn't just a collection of parts sitting there. It needs a nervous system to react, to feel pain, and to protect itself from getting hurt. For the power grid, that hurt comes in the form of electrical failures, or what engineers call faults. So what is a fault? Well, think of it as an injury, plain and simple. It could be a lightning strike, a tree falling on a power line, you name it. It creates this dangerous, abnormal path for electricity, and if you don't stop it, it can spread through the system like a raging infection. And this is where it gets really cool, the grid's own reflex action. When an injury, a fault, happens, these little nerve endings called protective relays instantly feel it. They don't think, they just react. They fire off a signal to the muscle, the circuit breaker, which, bam, immediately opens up, cutting off that part of the circuit and isolating the injury from the rest of the healthy system. All of this happens in a fraction of a second. It's incredible. Yeah, our source material puts it perfectly. This system is the absolute first line of defense. This isn't Plan B. It's the frontline warrior protecting the grid from immediate danger and stopping a tiny problem from snowballing into a massive blackout. So let's zoom in a bit. Let's focus on one of those vital organs, the transformer, and see how this nervous system protects it from an internal injury, from something going wrong deep inside the organ itself. The main weapon for this is a brilliant concept called percentage differential relaying. I know, it's a mouthful, but the idea behind it is actually beautiful and simple. It's like a constant health checkup, a blood pressure check that's always monitoring the balance of energy flowing into and out of the transformer. Here's the heart of it, right here. In a healthy transformer, whatever current goes in has to come out. It's a perfect one-to-one balance. The protective relay sees this perfect balance, and it just chills, it stays quiet. But if something goes wrong inside the transformer, some of that current gets lost. Suddenly, what goes in does not equal what comes out. The relay sees this imbalance and immediately sounds the alarm. That imbalance is a critical symptom, It's the grid's equivalent of an internal bleed. It tells the whole system that this specific organ is in trouble. That alarm signal instantly trips the circuit breakers all around it, isolating the damaged transformer before it can harm anything else. But this is where the story gets even more clever. The grid's immune system is so sensitive that sometimes a perfectly healthy organ can look like it's in deep trouble. So this creates a real challenge. How do you avoid a false alarm? Just think about it for a second. What happens when you turn on any huge piece of equipment? It doesn't just quietly hum to life. There's this initial jolt of energy it needs just to get going. Well, this exact thing happens with transformers. It's called magnetizing inrush current. When a transformer first gets connected to power, it draws this huge but totally temporary spike of current to get its magnetic core all fired up. It's a normal, harmless part of its startup sequence, but to a simple relay, that huge spike can look exactly like a catastrophic failure. And this chart really shows you the problem. Your normal operating current is way down here. Then look at the inrush current. It can be several times higher. To a relay that's just looking at the size of the current, that spike is a 5-alarm fire. So the big question is, how does the system possibly tell the difference? This is where the smarts come in. Modern relays are way more intelligent. They're designed to recognize the unique electrical signature, the specific shape of an inrush current, and they're programmed to just wait,
just for a fraction of a second, to see what happens. If the huge current spike disappears right away, the relay knows, okay, just waking up. If it stays, then it knows it's a real fault, and then it trips the breaker.
So when you put all these pieces together, the instant fault detection, the perfect balance check, and the intelligence to tell a real threat from a false alarm, you get this truly remarkable protective system. These aren't just pieces of equipment. They really are guardians.
And why does any of this matter to you and me? Because this invisible system is what stops a single fallen tree branch from knocking out power to an entire state. It protects equipment that costs millions of dollars from destroying itself. It lets us run the whole power system more efficiently, and most importantly, it ensures that when you flip a switch, the lights actually come on. Every second of every single day, this electrical nervous system is on watch, making countless split-second decisions, monitoring the health of the grid, and standing ready to act in a millisecond. It's one of the most complex automated systems we've ever built, and it works so well that almost none of us even know it exists. And that leaves us with one final big question. As we electrify everything, our cars, our homes, and we add more complex power sources like wind and solar, the grid's body is changing. So the challenge for the next generation is this: how will these invisible guardians have to evolve to protect the much more complicated and much more vital power grid of tomorrow?